Girlfriend 10 introduced with Miss Mimimi, who is pretty good so far. Nothing too crazy with her, of course, as typical. I mean, that's not typical, I guess. Some of the girls are very strong when they come on. And maybe not strong in the sense of like as a character, but more of just their personality is very out there and interesting. And Mimi has some out there qualities so far, but not really. Like nothing crazy to the levels of like where Iku kind of was or something, right? She's a very hard worker. She has things she cares for. She has things that she strives to be better at and strives to improve and utilize that wealth of whatever it is that she has coming in through her hard work to be able to obtain those higher levels of the things that she wants to. She seems pretty like a all-around good person, outside of the fact that she's like extremely self-aware and overconfident, but at the same time you can't really fault somebody for not just trying to be humble about something that they is pretty obvious to them. You know, it's all difficult to get that. So I don't fault her at all for it, but I'm interested to see what we have. She's very concerned with Nano and how she's just more beautiful than her in her eyes, which is fun to see for somebody who doesn't seemingly put a lot of effort into her own appearance or any of that sort of stuff, to have somebody who does do that to take full on issue with it, which is the classic, you know, everything in life sort of thing where sometimes things go your way. Sometimes some people have things just way easier, comes to them more natural than other people. Nana's just been gifted with some great genes and she looks good, you know, like you can't, it's not her fault. It's not her fault. And then, you know, you do got to feel bad for those who work extremely hard to get to the level that they're at, but it's just the way life is. Sometimes some people have more unfair advantages in certain aspects than others. So are we going to tear down those that do, and we're going to say that they don't deserve the things that they've been given? You can't really do that either. So interested to see if maybe we learn a little bit more about what their interaction in the past was like, if it even was one, if it was just a passing kind of thing where she saw her, where this admiration ended up coming from. All of this I would love to explore a little bit more. And I do love the challenge of another girl being introduced as a way for us to allow the other girl into the group, but more on the ends of like, we don't necessarily need this big like moment where we have to get together for this food festival or bring everybody together to play a baseball game or something, you know. Instead, we can just do something simple that involves like two of the girls or something to introduce. I think that's cool. It doesn't mean they're not going to do that. For all we know, they're going to bring like they're going to do something and get everybody together and make a whole spectacle out of it. But we'll end up seeing what they decide on. I hope you enjoy. If you like it all, like and subscribe now to me. Feel free to stay around for the discussion. Let me comments with the Zota series. I'm going with the 8th episode of season 2 of 100 Girlfriends. So on a level that's like determined by others. Right. But it breaks your heart when you realize she doesn't care about it even more. Oh, denial of friendship. Okay, we brought her to the school. Never mind. I forgot that somebody has to get exiled. Now, the thing is, how are we going to flip it to allow each of them to stay? Thank you. Me. Oh. She agreed to it. You have to. I sure you can do that. Okay, I misunderstood, I think, how this was gonna go. I thought that we were gonna pick who's most comparable to each of the girl in each aspect because they all have such beautiful things, but we're just complimenting them. The physical features versus the why is it so big? That's well, they do. They were together when this happened. That's cute though. I like how everybody has duos. Ah. It's hard. Look at her. She's just cute. No, you're doing it again. Wrong game. Now we're all tied up. That girl, you're always around. No. Who remains? You are. This might go on a while. I go. I don't know about that one. It's interesting. Okay. I disagree. Let's take the compliment. Yeah, the lovely. Wait, just now. Don't exist. Just making shit up. He's gotta rip it off. Yeah. Gonna make this as hard on them as he can. No features that aren't just him, you know? What's on the inside? He can't change that. Okay. We're gonna need that outfit and everything that they gave him last time. What has happened to him? It's not even the same. What the? Nobody lost. Nobody exiled. I guess you both joined the family. Welcome. There you go. Smart moves, dude. He turned himself into this. Just give her both this way. That wasn't the intent. She's slowly been changing a little bit, you know? Can we be friends? This is a huge step. Good for you. Shall take your hand in marriage. Turn back time to become your friend. With a smile on her face. Aww. I really like her short hair. I kind of want her to go back. Okay, well that's where that came from. Aww. The whole time, that's all she wanted. Wasn't even about winning or losing. Whatever works for you. Yeah, whatever works. I hope they leave him like this. Like, I hope we don't cut back and it just grows. I hope they keep him. Welcome to the team.
聞いたことねえんだよな日本語。まあでもいいんじゃないの。バカそうだけど悪いやつじゃなさそうだし。誰の話ですの？差し当たりメイクオーバー。あひょい。
There we go. We didn't have someone like this before. This is good. Should have did it on the other form.
なんですのそれ。でもそもそも皆さん元の美しさが高いですわね。白昼堂々とあなた方普段からこのようにキスをしていますの。
You get used to it. They line up for it too.
聞いたことがありますわ。大好きな恋人とのキスは美しさに重要なホルモンがビャービャー出る。
That's why they're glowing.
最強の美容であると。
You've been missing out on it. That's the one thing you've been missing. Great idea. Great idea.
レンタロウちゃん、私たちもっと美しい彼女になりたい。
Yeah, don't deny them of this.
なるほど。快感が高い方が脳への刺激も強く、ホルモンの分泌も増す可能性。
Right, of course, naturally just increasing the beauty.
さすがナノさん、美しき効率ですわね。軽量化のためにブレーキ取っ払ってる暴走車だけどな。血管をめぐって全身の隅々まで運ばれ。
Never seen her like this.
これが腰が抜けるという概念。
At least they brought that. God, they brought that back. Yeah, okay. Didn't need to say it.
テレビでしっこ漏らしてごめんなさいなのだ。本当に気持ちかったのだ。違う気持ち。
All that's needed is a public apology and you're good.
レンタロウ様、なぜあなた様は私めをこんなにも幸せに愛しております。大好きでございます、レンタロウ様。
お座り。
チュキチュキチュキチュキ。
Excuse me?
このいい子教師。その僕もいいかな、レンタロウ。
行く。当たり前だよ。
You're always welcome to. That's what being a part of the family means.
崩れ落とさせたキス。確かに気持ちよすぎるけど僕は限界まで耐えてみせる。諦めたらそこで試合終了なんだ。選手生命の弾幕はそこまでです、イエス様。 私は別にキスとか興味ないし。ではなぜリップを塗ったん
Yeah, why did you put it on?
背負った子なのだ。ちょっと何キスしようとしてんのよ。
Right, she just said she don't care about it.
好き好き好き好き。レンタロウ大好き。もっとキスして。
I like how he has to take the approach with her.
脊椎終了のお知らせ。送る。は別に抱きしめてなんかないし。猿でもわかる嘘。
嘘はついてない。確かにあれはベア。
Right,
そう
right.
なったら嘘かどうかは僕が判断しよう。さあ、ほら早く。
大丈夫かよ。
何ごめん、気づかなかった。
おめえも
I love Iku. There you go.
好き。レンタロウ先輩好き。レンタロウ先輩もキスも大好き。もっと味わいたい。
Whoa, 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 whoa. Who said you can get more than one?
私だけ年下だからって子供扱い。
静香ちゃんが見てるでしょ。
ごめん。かかってこい。好き。レンタロウ君好きです。大好きです。もう何もレンタロウ君のことしか考えられない。頭も体も全身がふわふわしてふわふわして。
静香ちゃん、足が。
Oh, the princess. Great save. It would have been funny if they just let her float away and we have to wait till next episode for her to come back. She turned into him. This is what he does.
また足腰か。
ちょっと大丈夫なのあんた。
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
カンタロウ君。誰？
Good luck card. That is your daughter.
私とのキスですわよ。
はい。
The final boss.
本当に見れば見るほどなんて美しい人な。
Just look at the size of that forehead.
これがキス。なんて気持ちいいんですの。
私の美しい脳みそからホルモンがビュービュー出てるのがわかりますわ。こんなの美しくなっちゃう。
これは孫うことなき食撃。
Yeah, I know.
ホルモンを肉汁に見立てんな。さあ皆さん、もっともっとレンタロウ君とキスをして美しくなりましょう。
If it does that off of one, what is multiple gonna do to you?
娘たち、どんだけ美しくなったのだ。
Just not recognizable anymore. Yeah. Went straight shoujo on them.
おめえは絵ですらねえぞ。
A kiss-filled episode. So much so that I even began to forget that the entire first half of the episode was a thing. In typical format, we surround an entire next episode as a way to fully introduce the other girl into the group and then to give her the first kiss, of course. So Mimi is able to fully get that after we overcome her initial battle and issues and everything that came about it, to now introduction within the group and see potential dynamic and everything and how that can fit. I like the way that they consistently do play into the characters, though, with allowing us to do something like with Iku and having all the girls be able to utilize like baseball and the thing that she was intrigued in, right? And then do it again here by making like beauty the main thing that we're going off of, and being able to like give the girls like some extra makeovers or do something to be able to like enhance that in some sort of way. Hence what Kusher is able to like create for us by the end of it. I think it's all nice that they're able to like find these things that are the main, like one of the main characteristics of this new character and introduce it to the group in some sort of way. So I like adding that in and adding those elements of like, this is the thing that this person would really like. Let's do something potentially for them, or do something that like allows them to feel included because they enjoy this thing to begin with, and it makes them a little bit more at ease and comfortable right off the start, which is wonderful for them, of course. And I think that it works well here. It doesn't feel like similar in any sort of way to another scene or skit or anything that we've done up to this point, so that's fun. And she's a very just Mimimi. This is a very different character in general to all the other girls that we have also. So it's nice. I think that we've consistently keep adding to characters who feel like they have their own like unique strong point to them in some sort of way that's different enough. I will say, I do wish we got more from Mimimi this episode. It was a little similar to the way I felt, I think, about Iku with her episodes, and as excellent as I think they were, I do think like at certain points, like especially with the baseball episode, it wasn't really focused on her for a lot of it until like we got towards the back end of it. And I did wish that we maybe got a little bit out of her, but I do think that we brought everything together extremely nice, that it didn't necessarily matter to me. And also she had such a longer, like full episode, the episode before that also, that it just felt like we had a lot of screen time with her. Whereas this one, I don't think we got as much Mimimi as I would have liked. Giving her only half an episode in the previous one, and then even this one just kind of resolving the conflict like kind of instantly, didn't make me feel like I learned a lot or got to see her personality or anything really shine throughout any of these moments in a similar way that I think that they've done with the other girls up to this point. So it came off a little bit weaker, I think, on that front. But I will say I really did enjoy the general idea that she simply just wanted to be friends with this other girl, and she was so like in love with the way that she looked and carried herself and stuff, that she went out of her way to try and do something to put herself in that position to actually be friends with her, and then being able to then take that back years and years later here and show that they've kind of grown as people. And then, you know, Nanao especially being able to reflect on that and realize all the things that she's gone through and how much she's changed and how influential all these people have been directly on her life and just for her. That she's okay with like righting her wrongs in a way, and even if she wasn't accepted by Mimi here, she was able to at least like look at her and be like, I made a mistake here, I would like to kind of right my wrongs now, and if you're not okay with that, that's fine, but if you are, this is a perfect way for us to move on here, instead of just like holding this or allowing her to hold this grudge forever, have this misunderstanding about maybe why she was acting out the way that she was, if it was something that you did, if it was just her as a person or just whatever it is, and getting all clarity and stuff on that, I think is great. I think that's one of the strong points that they've done throughout a lot of these. They did it with the Iku episode with Shizuka again, the highlights as well. Allowing the moments where you're supposed to be showcasing like one of these characters or implementing them into the group, and giving the other girls a chance, like one specific girl usually, a chance to like really shine throughout them. Shizuka getting that like big overcoming moment. She had a little bit of like stuff where she finally was able to speak a bit. We even got that again in the last episode. But being able to have like that big moment where everybody goes to bat for you and you get to see how much this person's still trying, even though that they're being like the one who's weighing the team down and everything. And once again, we get that here where it's a similar thing where Nanao instead gets to see all the things that she's done and all the things that she's gone through, and you get to see that as well as the viewer and really reflect on how many scenes she's been in and how she was acting at first and how comfortable she's kind of gotten around like a lot of these other girls and how much she's even changed from that initial introduction. And it's great to see that growth on her part, and I think they've done a good job with the girls at this point of being able to just showcase that growth even when another character is the one who's supposed to be like more so in the spotlight here. Which I found really lovely. And I think, like I said, the overall story between the two of them being able to kind of no longer have to view each other in the way that Mimi potentially did, and move past that and now be able to continue onwards and move her actively into the group, not make anybody have to leave, and become friends with this person that you've looked up to this entire time, is a wonderful thing. Second half of the episode just focuses solely around the messing around, the beautification of the other girls, and of course wanting to be more beautiful. So we're going to utilize Kusuri and her drugs and the things that she's capable of making to make it a kiss-tastic second half of the episode, which I'm a little iffy on, I will say. I think that like overall they pull it together to work itself out, but it's one of those things that I do have concerns with the future, and it's going to get to like a point you can't do a full episode like that when you get more girls, you know. So it's nice that they did it now, I guess. But it's one of those things, like every single time that we get like the new girl introduced, I personally don't have a intrigue of being like, oh, I want to see all the girls. Like I want to see him being fair to all of them. every single time. While I know he's going to be, and it helps, you know, the people who are fans of a specific girl get like happy and root for them and give them more time on screen and everything too. It does for me get to a point where I just like, I kind of wish that we just gave Mimi her moment there and then just extended that a little bit more or ended it there. While I do think there were like a lot of solid moments that actually did come out of that second half too, it just, I don't know, it wasn't, it's not my favorite sort of thing. It's a little too, I don't know, a little too much, I think I would say. But it's fine, it's fine. I love Nana's hair like this. I don't know if she'd ever go back, but I feel like for a person who's so worried about efficiency and everything too, the shorter hair look would be better. Because then it would be less like maintenance and care, you know? But I guess she wasn't really for all that. And I like this too. It was never like, I'm so thrilled with like the idea of how beautiful she was, but she didn't want to like, she didn't care as much if she won or lost. Of course, you're part of the competition and that competitive nature and everything, so you want to, but her main goal was here to become friends with you. And when you go against that, it just completely ruins your world. So we go into this competition, which is different than what I assumed it to be. But when they explained it here, I thought it was just going to be, let's go through each girl individually and then find like the one trait that makes them like really like special. And then whatever girl like compares to it, like Rentaro can like kind of just pick and choose, and then each of them have to just like make up, because like he just assumes he has a lineup of 10 girls, so the most beautiful one would be a combination of like all of them in some sort of way, if that were to be the case. But isn't seemingly what ended up happening here instead. But they have some fun. They cut through. I like how when we did get our moment with Shizuka being involved, she wasn't like it didn't end up working out for Nano, even though you'd assume that it would, because she just views her as cute and everybody else who's been around her so much and everything it does. I love the big antenna. And then the final one having to be Rentaro, of course, refusing to let them have any of the things that they actually claim about him here, and just everything just went horribly wrong. He just having to shave eyebrows, to hair, to the strip, to do just any and everything that he can, which is, this was great. This moment's the absolute highlight, and I love it. And I love how he basically just turns into the fucking dude from the beginning. It's so good. I love it. And I wish they kept him like this just for like a full episode instead of just letting him snap back. Boy, I thought it was so good. It's such a smart thing for him to do here, and to utilize this as some sort of way to bring everybody closer together and not have to separate or lose somebody. Be more inclusive of everybody. And I like this as she's about to step out, Nano takes this as her one chance to pull you back in and ask you to join in and do the thing that she wishes that she could have did before, which was turn her back and give you that big old smile. But she can't go in the past anymore, so instead let's make that change now. And then we get that backstory, which I wanted to know a little bit more of, like how she found herself in like here. Which is just insane that somebody else could just sign you up to be able to let that happen. There we go. I gotta just glam all the girls up, make them look good. I love this. She's so goofy. And here we go. Everybody gets their full moment of lust, their full euphoric moment, which all showcase personalities a little bit different and how they all handle it and everything, but nothing that's like different, like things that we've kind of grown used to and fully would expect out of it at this point. I love the Kusari cutaway here to the general apology for doing this. I think is awesome. Also, I didn't note it, but the subtitles at least translating Mimimi to like Mimimi, like M-E, a bunch, like one of the times at the beginning was really funny to me. More just showcase of the different girls, give them all like fan servicey moments and stuff for all the characters to be able to have. Some of them are great. I love her coming back here and swinging the bat. I think that was really funny, and her legs going crazy and being concerned about all the stuff that is good. Karne moment's a highlight for me as always. I love her, which then just of course has to translate to eventually when Hakurei ends up getting her full-on moment, and then we end up making her basically him, because he does this all the time too. The similarity between them and not seeing that, and full-on Yuri, of course. These two are just like absolute intriguing duo. They're fun, right? But they're so gay for each other. they do everything they can to not admit it. Like, what do you mean you saw her with somebody else? If we're being honest, you probably didn't. You know, just the mom just taking all the pictures too is crazy. Here you go. Blow everything fucking off of her. Crazy. To wear down the boy after a full day. and how beautiful it made them all look, of course, turned them straight into a shoujo, and Broke became a piece of fucking art as a result, as the recipient of every single one of these, of course. Fun episode. I'm assuming we continue the same formula going forward and probably introduce the next girl next, which weirdly enough will be probably the last one we get. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have Operation bring in similar to what we had in the last season, like random thing goes down encounter towards the end, and we have like a multi-part episode that's like Operation get this person back or do this, and then potentially introduce a last person like right at the end, but we don't even have to go that route if we don't want to, but just something to give more screen time and stuff between the characters would be my assumption here. So we'll see how that plays out. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you liked it, like and subscribe down to me, feel free to check out the channel, leave me comments with this other series. I'll be back for episode 9 next week. It was a great one. Peace.